Welcome back to Beyond the Slate. This is episode 2. It is an EMA Film series. It's good content that is going to help you as a filmmaker make your career into something super special, treat your art like a business, and make it actually expand and grow. However, EMA Film specifically is about putting predictability into the film industry using the administration technology of philosopher and humanitarian L. Ron Hubbard. I'm super excited about this particular one because this episode is about becoming your own CEO. Guys, it is a mindset podcast. That's right. What? Let's give it up for the mindset, because a lot of people talk about this kind of stuff, but it is so important of like how you think. You get your mind right, you can do a lot of really good things. So this whole talk is going to be short, sweet, to the point, but it is about your mindset. I got an exercise for you because you know I love exercises. Great question, simple one. Other than yourself, who is in charge of your career? No one. That's it. The exercise is over. Congratulations. No one is in charge of your career other than you. But like how could that honestly be? If we're in a business that is all about making connections, which is what we've all been told, how is it possible that we are the only ones that are really actually in charge of our career? Because let's be honest, who hasn't run into the actor that needs to be cast in more productions, right? Oh, if I'm an actor, I'm just looking to get cast. I'm waiting for somebody to hire me. Or let's say you're a gaffer or a grip. You're waiting for somebody to hire you or your friend as a DP who's gonna hire, right? You're just waiting for other people. You're not in charge of that. Or maybe you're a producer waiting for an investor. You're not in charge of an investor getting in touch with you. Or maybe you want an agent as a director or as an actor. You're not in charge of that. Like, you've got to wait for a lot of other things. Basically, this industry is all about connections. So how could you possibly be in charge? Well, fun fact, believe it or not, you actually are or can be in control of all of those things that we just talked about and listed out. So the question is, if it's really all about who you know, then how do you get to know people? How do you even make a connection? This is going to sound simple when I say it, and you might be annoyed at me, but the way you go out and make a connection is by connecting with people. Sorry, that's kind of it. And you connect with people using communication. Just knowing that idea, knowing that you can actually be in control of who you're connecting with and how you're connecting with them, that's part of the mindset, right? You need it to know that this is something that can actually happen. If you don't really believe that, you're never going to use communication to try and grow your career. Let's talk about, communication is an important part of it. We're going to cover it more in the next episode. However, let's talk about the other parts of a business, not just the communications part of it. Let's talk about marketing and sales. Let's talk about finances, production, actually making things happen, your quality control, and the distribution of it. Like, once you get something done, how do you get it out there, right? All businesses work on these same basic principles, these same different divisions of activity that they're trying to do and to try and grow their business. And you are the CEO of your business. So, meat and potatoes time. Let's talk about how this works for an individual. If we're talking about communications, then the question is, how do you communicate with yourself and get done what you need to get done, right? If you don't have good mental metabolism, as it's been called, if you're talking to yourself saying, hey, I can't do this, I'm not a good enough actor, I don't have this thing, you're telling yourself all the time, yeah, that's terrible. Imagine the CEO of, Chick-fil-A talking to the different people that work in his restaurant and say, hey, you can't do that very well. You're not a good cook. Actually, they cook things way better at McDonald's or Cane's. I don't know why you're doing this. You think they're going to want to keep working there? No, of course not. Think about how you talk to yourself. It's really important. I had a really great friend of mine once nailed me on this talk. I was talking down on myself. I had said something about, oh, I'm not the best artist in the world or something dumb like that. And they just said, hey, don't talk about my friend that way. Shook my world when I heard that. Yeah, I wouldn't let anybody talk about my friends, telling them that they're terrible. Why would I do that to myself? Doesn't make any sense. So how are you communicating with yourself? Really important thing, right? Next is, how do you market your ideas, or do you have any marketing materials? What does that look like? If you're an actor, do you have good headshots? Do you have good resumes? right? If you're a director, do you have a director's demo reel or a website? Or if you're just really trying to show off your skills at all, no matter what you're doing, you should really be able to show off your marketing materials properly. This is where we talk a lot about it, social media, making sure that that looks good. Hey, you don't have to convince me on how social media is terrible and awful. I already get it, but it is a really great tool to show off what you're doing and market yourself. Think of it as a marketing tool, and all of a sudden, social media ain't that terrible anymore. Now, another thing is, how are you getting paid? Did you set up your finances properly? Is it easy to pay you? Oh my gosh, I had this problem myself where I would have such trouble sending out invoices to people that it made it harder and harder for them to pay me. They didn't want to hire me just because they couldn't pay me. Like, that's insane. How am I going to grow my career if I make it difficult to pay me? Right? That's why it's important to have all of these different services like Venmo, Cash App, all that kind of stuff available, because you got to make it as easy as possible to pay you. If that becomes a barrier, people are going to stop. It's I hate to say it, but it's that simple. Another thing, what do you do for work if no one is going to give you work? Just because you're not hired to be the actor in that next project that you really want to, does that mean that you have to sit on the couch and do nothing until the next project comes along? No. I mean, everybody talks about it all the time now. You got a camera in your pocket. You can make anything you want to. My very first film, I made it on an iPhone 11.
Woohoo! Failure.
I was the only crew on it because I didn't want to hire anybody else to do it because I was a cheapskate. But what I'm saying is that you personally can make something special by yourself. Like, you can make the role. A really great friend of mine has just done something just like that. She wanted to be doing a particular kind of role as an actress. So you know what she did? She freaking wrote the thing and she put together the money and made it an awesome short film that I did help to get direct. So that's going to be coming out soon. But anyway, super, super cool. Next thing that is also important, how do you know what you're doing is actually good enough? This is like a quality control kind of thing. And I think about this with actors all the time, because actors will get footage back from something. If they're going to a class, they get footage back and they don't watch it. They're too nervous. I've been guilty of this a lot. What's even the point then? You will be amazed if you can sit yourself down and actually watch your work and be critical about it. You'll be amazed at what you can do. The very first film I ever created, the first edit when it was done was about 15 minutes long, and I was so critical of it. I chopped down everything on it that didn't work or made it too long or whatever, got it under 10 minutes. So I cut a third of the film away just by chopping, making sure it was good enough. And if it wasn't good enough, it was gone. And that's a really important factor. I know we all have our babies, our things that we love, but you really got to make sure, is the product that you're producing good enough? Again, this is another huge mindset thing, right? Another big point, how are people going to know about you if you don't tell them? This kind of has to do with marketing in general, but really this also has to do with the people that you meet. Man, I think actors get a really short end of the stick on this one. I've had people in my life even say, when I've told them that I was an actor and that was what I was mostly focused on, and their response is, "Oh, so you wait tables?" Ooh, that's tough. That's tough to hear. But, I mean, you have to be willing to go through that, and you have to tell people that this is what you are. You say, "No, I don't wait tables. I'm an actor. Like, that's my job." And if you're telling people this, while one person might say you're waiting tables, the next person says, "Hey, I'm looking for an actor for this thing." And if you get struck down by that one person in your life who's not helping you out, like, you're going to lose on so many opportunities. So, like I said, it comes down to a few different topics, a few different divisions of how you think, but this is all on the individual mindset. I'm going to list them out again in a numerical order. Number one, how do you communicate with yourself and get done what you need to get done? Number two, what do your marketing materials actually look like in terms of resumes, headshots, websites, etc.? Number three, how do you get paid? Is it easy to pay you? What account does it actually go into? Do you know how much money you're making each month? Number four, what do you do for work if no one wants to give you the work? How do you do something? Number 5, how do you know what you're doing is actually good enough? Are you taking time to reflect? And number 6, how are people going to know about you if you don't tell them? These are all very important mindset questions that you need to answer for yourself. That's what the individual has, but a company, I like to think of it in terms of a company has core values. So company, core values, individual's mindset, kind of the same thing, just with a different grouping. So what EMA Film is doing is we can bridge the gap for artists between their artistic mindset and the corporate company values. If things are not going the way you want them to go in your career, then you need to ask yourself one major question. That question is, do you need to fire your CEO? Talked about this a little bit on the Lost podcast. But if a business is not succeeding and it is failing, don't you think that Fortune 500 company business is probably going to look at their CEO and say, maybe we need somebody new in this role? It's the same thing. You have to treat yourself like that business and say, you know what? I don't have my marketing materials in order. So if somebody even talked to me about it, I wouldn't be ready. I don't even know what account to send them to. I'm not talking about myself the right way. I'm not creating my own projects. I'm not doing all these things. There's all these things that you can be doing without waiting for other people's permission. That is all a mindset thing. If you are doing all these things and you're succeeding in your career, hey, things are great. Like your CEO is, you should probably give that person a raise. Last time we talked about this too. The question was, do you want to be successful in the film industry? Well, step 1 was to define what success was. Step 2 is actually name that success. So now you've kind of defined it, but you want to name it and give it a specific exact name. And the reason for this, Mr. Hubbard, he has a great quote about this specifically. He says, if production is not occurring, the ability to name the product is probably missing. And this comes from a work that he's done called Name, Want, and Get Your Product. And what he's basically saying there is that if a person can't tell you what it is that they are doing or making, that might be the best reason why that thing is not getting done. If I'm talking to you as an artist and you say, I make movies, great, you're making movies, amazing. What specific kind of movies are you making? Are they short films? Are they commercials? Oh, I make all sorts of movies. Even that is better than I make movies, right? You got to be specific about what it is. Now, let's talk too about your mindset individually, right? If you're looking at your marketing side of things and you say, I create videos on Instagram, that's a specific thing that you're doing. Videos on Instagram, videos on TikTok, whatever, right? But if you just say, oh, I'm going to market myself, I got to market myself more. Dude, there's a million different things that you can market with. So good luck on defining that, right? Name it specifically. What are you doing? I'm going to write a 2-minute short film that showcases my ability to cry. If you're an actor, great. You're a DP. I am going to create a spec ad, and I'm going to put that spec ad out on my Instagram or my social media or whatever, on YouTube. And every person I talk to, I'm going to show them the spec ad. Those are very specific things that you're doing. And maybe you don't want to go that wild with it, but you can do those things. So there you go. So you have mindset, you have these 6 different things that you can be thinking about as an individual. And you know that you need to name your success so that you can actually do the things that are in that area. So now next time we are going to discuss communication specifically and how to communicate properly to others and to yourself, because both of those are extremely important. So guys, thank you so much for being here at this next episode, and we will see you in episode 3 of our EMA Film series Beyond the Slate. Thanks, and let's keep making some movies. Finger guns.